Welcome to this snapshot for July 14th, Tuesday. It's Bastille Day in France, the celebration of French independence, the beginning of the French Revolution, France's version of our 4th of July, I suppose you could say. I have a critical comment to say about what happened as a result of that revolution, but I want to make it clear I love France. If I could only visit one other country during the rest of my life, I'd go back to France. I love the food, I love Paris, the countryside, the sound of the language. I even loved Maurice Chevalier when I was younger and would listen to his songs. Well, what is Bastille Day about? It's not about throwing off the yoke of a country that colonized France, like we celebrate on the 4th of July, throwing off the yoke of England, but rather it's a freedom and independence from the excesses of the nobility, Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, and their idolatry of power and their abuse and neglect of the common people who took up torches and pitchforks against them. It's also independence from the clergy. Believe it or not, the clergy were in bed with the nobility. They had the idolatry of power as well, and they liked being on the top rather than caring about the people who were at the bottom, the common people, people who were the true church. So this is the result was Bastille Day, when the people were in power were overthrown. But there were some negative things that resulted from that. In place of the church altar where the sacrament was celebrated, guess what they set up? Altars to reason and temples of reason, glorying in independence and our own personal thought and scientific method and power. As a result of this independence, guess what else happened? You know what happened. The guillotine was put into use, and over 3,000 people in France were killed who did not agree with the common citizens and their overthrow of the nobility and clergy. In fact, there was a portable guillotine that made its way around the countryside, lopping off the heads of who? People like me, of clergy. There's a line in the national anthem of France, which I really like. The national anthem is La Marseillaise, I believe it's pronounced. It's aux armes citoyens, to arms, citizens, formez-vous bataillons, form up your battalions. But then the next lines in English are, let impure blood water our furrows. Well, that impure blood came from the heads of pastors like me. Well, the problem was idolatry. And Frederick Buechner has a great line about idolatry that I think you'll appreciate on Bastille Day. Having ushered God out once and for all through the front door, and the unbeliever is under constant temptation to replace God with something spirited in through the service entrance. From the moment the 18th century French revolutionaries set up the goddess of reason on the high altar of Notre Dame, there wasn't a head in all Paris that was safe. What a great line. We'll conclude with the verse of a French hymn from a community in France that cares for the disabled. It's in our hymnal. Lord Jesus, you shall be my song as I journey. I'll tell everybody about you wherever I go. You alone are our life and our peace and our love. Lord Jesus, you shall be my song as I journey. God bless you today.